Rise, Phakamani. Order the acting speaker.
You may be seated, honorable members. Thank you. Thank you, honorable members. Good afternoon. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, before I call members to debate the reports, remember we had reports this morning that were presented. I would like to inform the House that members of the public will only observe the proceedings as honorable members are debating, because members of the public were given the opportunity this morning to participate. We now come to the debate of the report of the Portfolio Committee on Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism by honorable members. Political parties will actually be debating the report that was presented this morning. And the Democratic Alliance, Honorable Cowley, DA, the floor is yours for the debate of economic development. 12 minutes starts now. Thank you very
much, Acting Speaker. Acting Speaker, Honourable Premier, Acting Premier, Honourable Members of the House, officials and guests, I greet you all. Acting Speaker, it was with great relief that on arriving at the venue this morning, I saw that our Acting Premier had arrived safely. This morning, whilst awaiting our transport to the venue, there was a terrible noise and in the street with sirens and police lights flashing and several cars racing down the road. I had this terrible vision that he had been abducted or hijacked, and so I'm very pleased that you are okay, Honourable Mboko, and that the taxpayers' money was not wasted. Honourable Acting Speaker, in light of the fact that our provincial economy is under severe pressure, which has been exacerbated by several years of financial maladministration, corruption and wasteful expenditure on the part of both provincial and local governments, it comes as an enormous sense of relief to discover that there are some projects in our province that provide a glimmer of hope for the future. The Department of Economic Development, Environment Affairs and Tourism, to which I will refer as DEDEET from here on, has provided a variety of financing platforms for the smaller co-ops and projects under the...
Honourable Member, can you come closer to the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
The public.
Am I mumbling? Okay, very good. I normally have a foghorn of a voice, so I do apologize. The DEDEET has provided a variety of financing platforms for the smaller co-ops and projects under the umbrella of the ECDC, such as the Small Enterprise Development Agency, the Small Town, Township and Rural Entrepreneurship Support Program, the Invaba Fund, and other agencies such as the ECRDA, which fall under sister departments. It pleases my green heart to note that some funded projects are now geared towards protecting our environment and dealing with our up to now shameful inability to manage waste in this province. We all know that tourism can play a leading role in the development of our economy, but nobody wants to travel to a region that is drowning in plastic nappies and illegal dump sites. And Acting Speaker, nobody wants to live on top of their waste. I would also take my rubbish and dump it elsewhere if the municipality could not be bothered to provide basic services such as refuse removal. I want to state here that the department has put a lot of infrastructure in place to empower municipalities to manage their waste. In the Chris Hani District Municipality, 5 recycling and waste management units were built at a cost in excess of 36 million rand. Not one of them is functional 5 years later. That money would have been far better spent supporting small businesses with the necessary skills development and equipment to do the job of waste management and recycling themselves. If we look at the projects that are contributing to improving the integrity of our natural environment, which will enhance the image of our province and therefore its tourism potential, two projects stand out for me. The first was the Kocha Municipality EPWP Waste Management Project, which is effective and very well managed financially. I agree with the sentiment that the teams must operate throughout the municipality so that all communities can enjoy a cleaner environment. But the thing that impressed me was the fact that all the beneficiaries have been trained and are now accredited waste managers and chainsaw operators. When this project concludes, they can legitimately apply for funding to set up their own cooperatives. We all know that the saying that if you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he will eat for the rest of his life. These beneficiaries have been taught to fish. The second project that stood out was the Singunga Umti Cooperative, which operates out of Makana Brick in the Makanda municipality. It is living proof of exactly what can be achieved when government and the private sector collaborate around issues of skills development, sustainable environment practices, and skills transfer. It is, in environmental terms, a mutualistic symbiosis where both sides of the relationship benefit. The MEC and the HOD know well that I strongly believe that for government to get more bang for their buck, they must back their winning horses. This is a winning horse. Acting Speaker, there's a distinct lack of government coordination in tackling the challenges faced by some projects. The Bafazi Pambili Cooperative in Janssenville is a case in point. There are no less than 4 government entities involved in supporting this project, and yet the project is struggling to survive. Worse, this is a dedicated group of women who are trying to show the youth that through hard work and pursuing your dream, you can bring change to your circumstances. Between the ECDC, the Department of Social Development, Dr. Dar, the Sarah Bartman District Municipality, and the Dr. Beyers Nodi Local Municipality, not one of them has effectively assisted these women to resolve the issues that threaten to shut down their livelihood. I agree with the speaker from this morning who said it feels as though nobody cares about what happens in Janssenville. These women are victims of a bullying big producer in the area that sadly does not practice the same values of collaboration and mutual respect that the Makana Brick does. Has government assisted them in resolving their issues? No. They lost half their breeding infrastructure through a lightning strike, which effectively halved their outputs. Have they been assisted to repair damages? No. In order for them to operate independently from the big business, they require a small abattoir of their own. Has this materialized? No. Honourable Acting Speaker, there is more at stake here than a small women's agricultural co-op. This group of women are the epitome of everything that government should be doing to change the trajectory of our small towns in the province. They should be supporting women in all their endeavours to put food on the table. They should be investing in food security projects in light of the devastating cost of living crisis due in no small part to our Eskom-induced energy crisis. They should be walking the talk of revitalizing small towns. Furthermore, as climate change events impact severely on all provincial infrastructure, the department must ensure that the projects that they have invested in are protected by some form of umbrella insurance so that when these extreme weather conditions do wreak havoc, there is a cushion for the projects. And this will also free up more money to invest in other projects. A big failure of provincial government is siloism, everybody operating in silos. Every department wants to take the credit when the projects are a success, but nobody wants to take ownership of the failures. When economic development projects have more than one supporting entity, government must draw up strict and clear guidelines as to who is responsible for each aspect of these projects, and these need to be clearly communicated to the project beneficiaries so that when government successes or failures can be attributed to the specific entity that supported or failed them. Honourable Acting Speaker, there are a few projects that need just 1 or 2 tweaks in order to flourish. They are not asking for salaries or skills development. They already have the potential to fly. Markie's Kitchen have experience and skill, but they simply need additional space to expand their operations. Hlahlabone manufacturers in Kenton have scarce skills which are highly sought after in both the boat building and building industries, and a very talented project leader who could, if supported, provide accreditation to those who he has trained. Their future depends on finding space in an industrial area as opposed to operating from home. These are potentially 2 more winning horses. Sadly, there are 2 projects that need reassessment. The Ubuntu Cooperative provides equipment for events, but is constrained by a lack of transport and a very small local population, and they are not being supported by local government. Alternative income streams must be sourced if they are to survive. The other is the Injika Chicory Co-op. The chicory industry, sadly, is collapsing. I would appeal that Dr. Dar intervene to establish what other crops would thrive in that particular soil type, and that they advise and support accordingly to revive the project. They must be heartened by the fact that these projects will be easier to revive than the ANC, which continues its decline in the polls. Acting Speaker, in conclusion, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of DDEET and specifically the Eastern Cape Development Corporation in dealing with the massive challenges they faced over the past few financial years, which threatened their viability as a going concern. They are slowly moving in the right direction, and their efforts with regard to developing small businesses and projects are appreciated. The Democratic Alliance accepts the report. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kaule. Can we go to the Economic Freedom Fighters, Honorable Zibula? Honorable Zibula, your 8 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. Greetings to Honorable Acting Speaker, members of the Provincial Legislature, and the members of the community in large, or in attendance. Yintoni enokwenziwa ngcono nangexabiso eliphansi Sarah Badman. Yintoni enokwenziwa ngabantu bakuthi iphucule impilo yabo, abantu bakuthi benze imisebenzi bangalindele ekubeni mabaqeshwe. What can be done by the government to promote creation of jobs, that our people do not only have to look for jobs but create jobs? Sarah Badman has 2 sectors that should be the focus of this department, which is the economic development, environmental and tourism. That is tourism and agriculture. And in addition to that, there is also a new sector, which is the renewable energy sector. This Sarah Badman district is the highest producer of citrus, which is oranges in South Africa. Most of it is being exported. Are the people of this municipality benefiting from that? Why are they not benefiting? What is the department doing about that? The Sarah Badman district is the largest producer of lemons in the world. Are the people of this municipality benefiting from that? Why are they not benefiting? And what is the plan of the department to aggressively tap in this industry? The Sarah Badman district is also the highest producer of mohair in the world. Yet the municipality has done, the department has done nothing to ensure that the people of Sarah Badman benefit from that export and the fact that it's leading in the world. To mention just a few of the products that you can get in this district, you get goats that you can get meat, mohair, and hides. The cattle, the ostrich, the pork, grains, honey, bush tea, sheep, chicken, and vegetable and fruit. The most recently industry that is coming to be mushrooming in this district is, as I said before, it's the renewable energy. There are a lot of wind farms that you can find, but now the challenge that we've got is that most of these, or relative, maybe all of them, are not owned by the black majority of the people in this municipality. What is the ANC-led government doing to assist black people in tourism? Are there any role players? Are the role players in tourism still the white people in this municipality? Are there any success stories that the department can point to that they have assisted a black person in tourism until the business is self-sustainable? What is the ANC government also is doing in assisting people in agriculture? As we know that this area has got a lot of farms. Are there any role players? Are the role players in these ones, or the owners of these farms are still the white-owned? Are there any black people that are owning farms that this ANC-led municipality can say they have assisted until they become commercial farmers? The government is encouraging people to form cooperatives, and people form them, but there's no support for that. Cooperatives normally get funding for the startup projects that are not sustainable. The department just fund people without ensuring that they have relevant expertise to run the project. But these departments don't frequently visit projects and only discover later that the project is failing. Is there any project that the department has monitored until it's self-sustainable and competitive? The department must be proactive. They must study the municipality and identify projects for the people. By this time around, there must have been a lot of incubations in many sectors where the young people are trained in agriculture and tourism. Under the EFF government, there will be a massive protected industrial development to create millions of sustainable jobs. Under the EFF government, there will be massive investment in the development of African economy. The South African state capacity to do big business should be expanded to the African continent. It is through the implementation of the 7 cardinal pillars of the EFF that the South African economy will be effectively transformed in a manner that will uplift the living condition of the majority of our people. Economic freedom fighters has 7 cardinal pillars, and I want to mention these 7 cardinal pillars for the benefit of the people. The first one is the expropriation of land, of South African land without compensation for equal redistribution in use. Cardinal pillar number 2, nationalization of mines, banks, and other sectors of the economy without compensation. Cardinal pillar number 3, building of state and government capacity, which will lead to abolishment of tenders. Cardinal pillar number 4, free and quality and decolonized education, healthcare, and sanitation.
Honorable Zibula, your time is kept. There is a hand from Honorable Gomonja.
Thank you very much, Honorable Acting Speaker. I rise on Rule 101, irrelevance or repetition. It reads, the presiding officer may order a member addressing the House to stop speaking if that member, despite warnings from the presiding officer, persists in irrelevance or repetition of arguments. The cardinal pillars were not part of the report, Honorable Acting Speaker, and that's irrelevant. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Your point is noted. Continue, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Indeed, some people just have to speak. Cardinal pillar number 4, free, quality, and decolonized education, healthcare, and sanitation. Cardinal pillar number 5, massive protected industrial development to create millions of sustainable jobs. Cardinal pillar number 6, massive development of African economy and advancing of a move towards a united Africa. The last cardinal pillar is cardinal pillar number 7, building state capacity to deliver quality housing and basic services. The whole of society should be mobilized behind these pillars and be assured that the victory is certain. We are a generation of economic freedom. EFF just needs 5 years in Sarah Batman to reverse the 30 years of the ANC inefficiency. EFF leads, just vote EFF. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Zibula. Freedom Front Plus, Honorable Berger. Your 3 minutes starts now, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Greetings to you, and to the House, and thank you for the opportunity. All protocols observed. Acting Speaker, as you know, they don't call me Mr. Greenie for nothing. I'm going to ask through you, Acting Speaker, that MEC Mvoku listens clearly to what I say, because I know you know what I'm going to say, but we need implementation. No, I'm not fighting. The National Environmental Management Act stipulates that the developer must obtain environmental authorization before the department begins, he or she commences with the development. They must authorize the EIA process. Let's say that a farmer bought a new piece of land and he wants to establish irrigation on the crops. In order to get this environmental authorization, the developer must get permission from the deed to initiate the EIA process. The deed will not grant this permission to commence with the EIA unless the developer can prove that he or she obtained water rights from the Department of Water Affairs and Sanitation to irrigate the plant crops. Normally, after a lengthy process, if a developer is given a water use license, he or she must commence with the annual payment of the water rights. Only then can the EIA process commence. The EIA process is a well-regulated process, and it normally takes about 2 years. If the developer is fortunate enough to obtain the environmental authorization, he or she may then commence with the construction activities. The deed always have some pre-construction conditions that needs to be met before construction commences. For instance, the environmental management program must be updated. The site development plan must be updated. Environmental management plans must be updated. This will take another few months. Then the big day of construction commences. The site is cleared and prepared for planting, and irrigation is installed and the crops are planted. Depending on the size of the development, this takes another 2 or more years. Now the farmer plants his citrus trees. That takes another 4 years before they can harvest for the first time. Now, through you, Acting Speaker, in this scenario, the developer has paid water for almost 8 years before he has any return on his investment. My plea to the department is that we see if we can streamline this process. Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Berger. African National Congress, Honorable Tikana Kotiwe. Your 18 minutes starts now.
Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Acting Premier, the members of the Executive Council, honorable members of this House, and all our active citizens watching this proceeding from all different media platforms, good afternoon. Honorable Chair of Chairs, let me take this opportunity to start by saying in this August House that as the African National Congress, we still committed in peace arrangements that our president, that the war between the Ukraine and Russia, and also between the Israel and the people of Palestine, to find the amicable solution to resolve their issues with peaceful manner. Therefore, and we also say people of Palestine must be freed. There's no freedom that we can enjoy whilst the people of the Palestine are not free. Honorable Chair of Chairs, as the African National Congress, we take our tune from our manifesto that we are building a capable developmental state that has improved the lives of millions of our people since the dawn of democracy. Few countries in the world have succeeded in expanding vital services such as water, sanitation, electricity, roads, and housing to so many people in such a short period of time. And I believe that those are the enablers of economic development, especially water, sanitation, electricity, and roads. Integrated planning and implementation across departments and different spheres of government must be improved. The social compact between government, business, labor, civil society, and traditional leaders must be strengthened on the premise that government cannot fight unemployment, poverty, and inequality alone without the important stakeholders from every corner of our country. Therefore, Chair of Chairs, this needs our provincial government to come up with creative ways of attracting investment and strategies to make sure that our revenue collection streams are not shrinking but increasing under these difficult conditions that are facing the globe. The way of appropriation allocation from National Treasurer also needs to be revisited because the process is unjust. Also, in the same vein, we also need to encourage every citizen of the province to be counted by State South Africa because the process also plays a very critical role in the appropriation allocation of financial resources and economic development. Chair of Chairs, the ANC is now in the phase of rebuilding and its focus is on aggressively implementing the economic reconstruction and recovery plan. At the heart of the plan is mobilizing investment, creating new jobs, and supporting existing ones, and accelerating industrialization. As the ANC, we take the tune from our 55th National Congress as we observe that in order to advance our economic transformation, we need to do the following, among others, not cardinal pillars as it was indicated. We are to promote growth and development, eradicate the triple scourge of unemployment, poverty, and inequality, promote youth employment and small business development and cooperatives, build a developmental state with the technical and political capacity to lead development and transform the country. All the above, honorable members, are a mammoth task that needs every shoulder on the wheel and need all of us to work together, honorable members, in order to achieve the good results and building the Eastern Cape we want. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we applaud the African National Congress-led government that the Eastern Cape has recorded its third consecutive decrease in unemployment in the province, as stated in the quarterly labor force survey for the fourth quarter of 2022. Since 2020, approximately 20,000 people have been employed in the province. The province had dropped drastically from 47.9 in quarter 4 of 2020 to 42.1 in quarter 4 of 2022. The district has a population of 480 as per the Mankin data, with annual population growth rate of 1.4%. The population is estimated to increase to 564,000 people by 2025. The district has a median age of 27 compared to 21 of the Eastern Cape. In 2018, the unemployment rate in the district stands at 27.5 as compared to 27.4 nationally in the district. Makana local municipality has the highest unemployment rate of 32.5. We therefore urge the departments to invest a lot of financial resources along the coast to attract tourists and part of economic development. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the ANC-led government is pleased that we have cooperatives, manufacturers that are operating and creating jobs for our people. Yes, we still have to do more in this regard. However, the Department of Economic Development is trying by all means to assist financial and non-financial support to our people, especially with regards to tourism, because the Sarah Patman is very rich when it comes to tourism. Therefore, we urge the department to continue encourage and invest money in tourism, because the spin-offs of that will be employment of our people. Honorable Chair of Chairs, Sarah Patman, in terms of generating energy, the Eastern Cape as the province depends on these regions in terms of energy generation. Therefore, the provincial government must continue to invest financial resources, because this creates jobs and contribute to economic growth, which decrease the unemployment rate in this region. We therefore also appreciate that the World Bank has approved 19.2 billion rands as a loan for the country to deal with energy challenges. Therefore, we hope that those billions of rands will also be channeled to this region in investment in energy generation, which will create employment to our people. The African National Congress still and will continue to urge the Department of Economic Development to support our SMMEs financially from the Sarah Batman area, because by supporting them, they will create jobs and boost our economic growth. Therefore, Honorable Chair of Chairs, African National Congress urges the Sarah Batman District Municipality through its Tsakadu Development Agency to lead the intergovernmental and interagency coordination of the projects by developing one plan in line with the district developmental model. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we note with great concern what is happening in our country, that we have shop owners who sell goods that have expired to our residents. It is not nice what we see and hear on national television, that our kids are dying because they have been sold allegedly expired goods from the tag shop owners. We urge Department of Economic Development to have structures on the ground that will monitor and do door-to-door to our spaza shop to root out the criminals that are selling us expired goods to our people. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Department of Economic Affairs must financially support our spaza shop as part of local and township revitalization. We have seen that people of families that uses to own spaza shop in the rural areas and township have surrendered their shops to foreign nationals because they no longer profit by running their own shops. Therefore, if they can get assistance from the department, they can continue operating and employing our people. Foreign nationals do not employ our people, and on the same vein, honorable members, we urge the foreign nationals through law agencies to monitor the foreign nationals to make sure that they bank their money in our banks, because it's been alleged that they do not bank the money, they keep their money in their houses. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we are pleased that the Economic Development Department have invested and supported small businesses as cooperative from the Sarah Batman areas by giving them non-financial and financial resources through Imvaba Fund and ECDC as part of local regional development fund. The NDP plan for local government highlights the needs to strengthen the ability of local government to fulfill its developmental role. Municipal integrated development plans need to be used more strategically to focus attention on critical priorities in the NDP that relate to the mandate of local government, such as spatial development planning, infrastructure, and basic services, like provincial planning processes. Municipal ISPs should be used to focus on aspect of the NDP. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I want to deal with the matter of those who are dreaming that they can wake up and lead tomorrow. I just want to refer to the outcome of the by-elections of yesterday, where the ANC have won by 6,000 plus vote, taking a word from the DA, and the EFF only have 244 votes. We would wish to see those who are dreaming in their 128. Oh! We would wish to see them in their coalition, in their dreams. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the ANC support the oversight visit report as presented. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tikana Kotiwe. Honorable MEC Mvoko, respond to the debate. Your 15 minutes starts now. Honorable members, please don't drown one another. Let's try and behave. Thank you very much. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. Greetings to you, greetings to the Chief Whip, the Deputy Chief Whip, the members of member of the Executive Council present here, and all members of the Provincial Legislature. Thank you very much for the opportunity provided for me to respond to some of the issues that are raised here. I wish I understood what Honorable Cowley was saying about sirens, but I just missed it. Maybe I will follow up on that one because I do not, I didn't understand it. I stay right around the corner. I have one car that drives me here. I'm not accompanied by police. So how I wish they could be in my, they could join me. I hope they have heard now. I can't travel alone when the police are here. I need a convoy in front and behind. Maybe that's what Honorable Cowley is saying, but I couldn't capture it because I still use only one car. Of course, we all arrived safely, I must say. It's not very common, I know, to the members of the opposition to receive a very positive report. So when they get a positive report, they will try and find something, even if it implies that they would be sacrilegious in their responses to the report. You could pick that up, that they go to the smallest detail just to find something, because the report, which includes some of them, was positive about the projects, even though there are challenges, and those challenges are challenges that could be dealt with, even if you interview them. If anything, I must say, you all know that if we talk about Imvaba Fund, it's one successful fund for co-ops throughout the province. When that fund comes into any project, you see positive results. Even here in this report, you have seen positive results. So you can't start saying that that fund is not functioning well. Wherever the Imvaba Fund has come in to assist a co-op, it has done that excellently. I would wish that whoever from all those who say we are not functioning well, please give me a good example. They even have an aftercare. Once they have funded you, they have an aftercare to come and check if your project is still running well, how sustainable you are, and they advised you. So all co-ops that are funded by Imvaba are still doing very well. There's no money wasted there. So I don't know what projects they are talking about. The buyback center that Honorable Cowley is talking about is in Komani. It was funded by DFFE. That buyback center is still functional. It is now operated by the Krisani Development Agency. So we must just go back there. Yes. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I listened to Honorable Berger about us trying to streamline the process of the EIA. My understanding is that your EIA will take, I know there are quite a number of fallacies about EIAs, that it can take 1 month, can take 3 months. It doesn't. It will not take less than 6 months to do, because there are elements in it that would even need some consultation and all of that. But it doesn't take more than 1 year. If it does, it means whoever applied did not do a thorough job preparing for the EIA. And I'm glad that you outlined these things, because a person should know that if I want an EIA, I want the department to grant me a record of decision that I'm going to plant here and do that. What are the things I need to do before I get that record of decision? And then you put them in order. So you go there, you want an EIA done, you don't have anything about water. Now we must tell you, please go and get water license, because we can't grant you and don't have water. Then you run back and you go for water license. You get my point? So people must start to prepare. so that when you submit, it is very easy for the department to respond to you. It cannot take you 4 years or 5 years for an EIA. It means everything that you submitted to the department is incorrect. So I just sent a message here because I know the biggest office with challenges of EIA is that one of Mr. Els, if he's still around. He was sitting there in Nelson Mandela. But that's one of the biggest offices that is challenged with EIAs. And I've now come to understand the process through those challenges, that people are not preparing themselves thoroughly. So I take your point on streamlining, but I think you also need to get more information about it. Mr. Els is here. He's not going to leave until I leave here. So we have a chance we can speak outside of this. This report reminds us of the good work that our department and our government in general is doing to change the living conditions of the people. It highlights the magnitude of financial and non-financial support we are providing to our beneficiaries, working together with our entities. I know at a different light, I listened to all the honorable members, and even in the report also exposes deficiencies in the system of government from an intergovernmental relations point of view. And some of the recommendations talk to that. Some of the challenges that are experienced by the projects that we are supporting emanate from the fact that there is a disjunction in working with the different stakeholders, including also the different spheres of government. Considering the nature of concerns raised by the committee, and also to complement the DDM approach, DDIT will consider re-establishing the district economic development forums, at which all development agencies and relevant departments converge to strengthen the role of economic development support programs. Perhaps this is one of the attempts that could actually assist us in streamlining everything into that. Secondly, district and local municipalities must come to the party, and their role with regards to our local economic development must be felt by the co-ops and small businesses that are located within their spaces, and this leads to, and they are located within their spaces. I must highlight though that from the recommendations, or that recommendations stated on the report are noted and will be considered, Honorable Chair of Chairs, and a detailed report will be submitted. But let me talk to some of them. On the EPWP waste management project in Blue Crane Route Municipality, the project is a typical example of a project that requires a multi-stakeholder support, and where the issue of mandates must be noted. The municipality has a responsibility to develop a waste management plan. I think somebody mentioned that. I'm not sure it's Honorable Cowley or it is Honorable Tigana Kotim. As the regulatory authority, DDIT is mandated to adopt that plan. So they develop the plan, they send it to us, we look at it and we say, this plan is good. It is not us developing a plan for the municipality. So that municipality has that responsibility. We've availed the funds for all waste management activities. We've availed about 5.7 million rand, including the rehabilitation of waste disposal sites to the value of 2.6 million rand. And in this regard, we have since signed a service level agreement with the affected municipalities. So there's no excuse for a municipality, when there are funds made available, that they are unable to develop a waste management plan. There's no excuse. We've made money available and the funds are still there. So in as far as the development of bylaws, we as DDIT are a participant or a participatory party in the process. And that process of the development of bylaws is led by the COCTA department. So they are mandated to support the development of bylaws. Ours would be to participate in providing content and relevant regulatory framework. So I must add that the district municipality must also provide support to all local municipalities in this regard. So that one is now should be clarified about the Blue Crane local municipality. Where we stand, we've got all the, we can support them. On Bafazi Pambil, now, in August this year, I led a delegation to Janssenville, where Bafazi Pambili Co-op is operating. It was about engaging them with the challenges that they were going through, and also to check on the progress. Firstly, we came in because at a particular point in time, they lost 3,000 of their chicks or their chicken that they buy from somewhere. I think it's in Kariga. So they didn't know what to do because it meant the end of the project. So we sent Imvaba Fund, went to see them, and took a decision to assist them and bought them 3,000 chickens. If they are here, they would attest to that. And committed for the next 6 months until they are, they can sustain themselves. That's what we did there. And all those who would visited would know that we did that. They can attest for themselves. The biggest challenge they have is the abattoir. They used to have their chicken slaughtered in one abattoir of a person who also runs a chicken farm. The moment the person heard that government is funding them, charge them double the price in a chicken, that moment, to slaughter. That is why they say now they want an abattoir. But when we visited them, we tried to show them that it's not very easy for you to operate an abattoir at the scale in which you are, farming this chicken. It might drain your finances. Fortunately, Dr. Dow officials were there. They understand the process. They committed to, in my presence, to say, MEC, we will go back, we'll do a study on this matter, a feasibility study, and we will tell you what is the best option. Whether really we go for an abattoir or we support them for the 6 months we have committed to buy the chickens, support them in slaughtering them in the farm. Because they used to, I think it used to cost about 28 years, and it's now 56 to slaughter. 28 rand to slaughter. Immediately they heard it was slaughtered by, they got subsidy from government. The very same guy that used to slaughter for all the months changed and charge them 56 rand. So that's a challenge. So we will go through. So a thorough cost-benefit analysis will be undertaking, comparing between paying a fair price to an existing accredited abattoir and owning and managing their own abattoir. We are not against that, but we're thinking about they have to employ more people to run that and all the other things that will go with it, the electricity,
1 minute
the water.
left, Honorable Emerson.
On the Sinunga Umti multi-purpose primary cooperative, the issue of sustainable funding for projects is always an issue, Honorable Chair of Chairs, as it is for Sinunga Umti and multi-purpose cooperative. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I will not be able to respond to all the findings and recommendations contained in the report. Mine was just to show appreciation of the report and the work done by the committee, as alluded, a detailed report we would submitted. You would have observed that throughout my feedback on the findings provided by the committee and recommendations thereof, that issues raised are not solely the responsibility of DIT, and these matters demand improved intergovernmental relations as recommended by the committee. A cluster approach is also required to deal with some of the challenges. It is for this reason that I commend the work done by the portfolio committee, which continue to bring to light some of the weaknesses. Ours is not to defend ourselves. Ours is to find solutions. The people we serve are not interested in us pointing fingers at each other. All they want is the government that can deliver on its mandate, regardless of how we are structured internally. The district development model has been made available as a blueprint
Your
for
time
us
is
to work
up,
together
Honorable Minister.
for the development of our people and communities. Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Community Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism. Any objection? Thank you very much. Honorable members, before going to the next debate, let me recognize the presence of the Provincial Commissioner, gentlemen amongst ourselves. Thank you very much, Provincial Commissioner, for being present. You can just stand so that everybody can see you. Thank you very much, General. And also, we got very good feedback above. I think we do normally get good feedbacks about the heads of department and various public servants. But it's worth also mentioning that Mr. Mapulu, the regional manager of Home Affairs, he's also here among us. Can you just stand up, sir? Thank you very much. We appreciate the good feedback that we get from the public. Thank you. Honorable members, let's then go to the report. We will now debate the report of Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and we will call upon Honorable Kaule, Democratic Alliance, to take the podium and start the debate. Your 12 minutes starts now, Honorable Kaule.
Thank you very much, Honourable Acting Speaker. I'm here on behalf of my colleague, Dr. Knutzer, who is unavailable this afternoon. She's away. Honourable Acting Speaker, Honourable Premier, Honourable Members and guests, good afternoon. Thank you. Iets wat nog altyd baie spesiaal is aan die Oos-Kaap, is ons pragtige klein dorpies. Absoluut uniek in gevoel, voorkoms en ons mense. Ons groot trots was nog altyd areas soos Nieuw-Bethesda, Graafrenet, Kraddock, Somerset-Oos, die Tsitsikamma, Jansenville, Willowmore, Statelyville, Kirkwood en Addo. Die beste van alle wêrelde. Van die pragt van die Karoo met sy unieke berge en alwyne tot die woude van die Tsitsikamma. Mense kom van reg oor die wêreld om dit te ervaar en te aanskou. Hoe gelukkig is ons nie? Maar dames en here, ek is bitter bekommerd oor ons klein dorpe en munisipaliteite. Ongelukkig, agter hierdie beeldskone pragt, staan wanadministrasie, korrupsie en swak dienslewering wat wag om dit alles van ons af weg te vat. Alles waarop ons so trots is. Kom ons wees baie eerlik oor wat waarlik dreig om ons dorpe tot op hulle knieë te bring. The fact is that 16 out of our 39 municipalities in the Eastern Cape are financially unsustainable and in distress. That is 40%, nearly half of all of our municipalities. In fact, half of our district municipalities are already under administration. Every year, this position gets worse and worse. Baie mense mag dalk dink dat hulle nie hoef om te gee oor die finansies van hulle munisipaliteite nie. Maar laat ek vandag vir julle verduidelik hoekom julle moet omgee oor die finansiële welstand van alles wat plaasvind in julle munisipaliteite. The financial instability of municipalities has dire consequences for residents. Services grind to a halt, infrastructure is not maintained, and general maintenance and upkeep deteriorates. As municipal services collapse, businesses disinvest, taking with them much needed jobs and revenue from the local economy. Die feit bly staan, wanneer dienslewering swak is, wil besighede nie investeer in munisipaliteite nie. Wat beteken mense daar het nie werk nie. Wat natuurlik beteken dat ons mense armer en armer raak. Maar wat is die faktore van wat wanadministrasie, korrupsie en swak dienslewering beïnvloed. Years of mismanagement, cadre deployment and disinvestment by our provincial government to maintain and improve our small towns have placed them on a path of devastation. Eventually, the town enters a death spiral where a lack of services leads to disinvestment and a lack of revenue. And this lack of revenue results in further collapse of services until nothing is left. Ons weet almal hoe duur het die lewe geraak met die kospryse wat aanhou styg en die brandstofpryse wat die hoogte ingeskiet het. The extreme cost of living crisis means no more revenue will bleed from ratepayers through additional rate hikes and levies. Any attempt to do so will likely result in even lower collection rates. Except for the steps that the provincial government needs to take in terms of either assistance or intervention in terms of the Constitution, we need to employ a whole of society approach to rescue these municipalities. Ons moet nou almal saamwerk en saam staan om ons munisipaliteite te red van die afgrond waarop hulle staan. In 2016, when municipalities were in distress, they were amalgamated with successful municipalities, reducing the province's municipalities from 45 to 39. Amalgamation is not the answer and will only amount to more suffering and a complete failure in providing services to the people of the Eastern Cape. Dr. Beyers Naudé is the perfect example of why amalgamation does not work. Today, 8 years after amalgamation, the combined equitable share of this municipality has dropped by 22 million rand, from 99 million rand to 77 million rand, despite the fact that its area responsibilities have increased due to amalgamation. Comparatively, the annual increase in equitable share was also far below par as compared to other municipalities. Now we hear that government is proposing to change the names of towns like Graafrenet, Aberdeen and New Bethesda. So ook Kraddock. Antwoord asseblief net vir my hierdie vraag. Hoe sê 'n mens in een asem, julle moet help, die munisipaliteite het nie geld nie, die munisipaliteit is in distress en is nie finansiëel volhoubaar nie. En in die ander asem sê jy, kom ons spandeer miljoene om dorpe wat almal ken, nie net in Suid-Afrika, maar reg oor die wêreld, se naam te verander. Dit wanneer ons dorpe stuier onder die druk van beurtkrag, watertekorte, slaggate en swak dienslewering. Hoe kan dit ooit geregverdig word? Nooit nie. Just look at the Somerset East and Blue Crane Route municipality, which has an airfield which is not functional due to a stolen fence and cattle roaming on the runway. This is negatively affecting the potential for local economic growth and tourism opportunities. Just look at the Boschberg tourism hub in Somerset East, which has been completely vandalized and is in a dilapidated state. This is negatively affecting the potential for local economic growth and tourism opportunities, as well as employment opportunities within the municipality. However, Honourable Acting Speaker, basic service delivery in the Eastern Cape is collapsing under the pressure of crippling debt, maladministration and huge amounts of irregular expenditure, and the fact that local government is simply not capable of governing. At the end of the day, it is the people of the province who suffer, amongst them South Africa's most vulnerable. Honourable Acting Speaker, we are waiting with bated breath. We want to know in no uncertain terms what the province is going to do to provide assistance and support to these municipalities. The people of the Eastern Cape deserve better. When the sphere of government closest to the people fails, it's the people who suffer the most as service delivery collapses in its entirety. Honourable Acting Speaker, instead of fighting poverty, delivering services and putting people in this province on the path to prosperity, instead of investing money to realise key deliverable outputs of basic service delivery and infrastructure, we are struggling to keep half of our municipalities financially viable, while we should be focusing on improving the lives of our people. We are focusing on maladministration, fraud, corruption, and the malicious flouting of legislative prescripts by rogue municipalities. Our time should be better spent. Our money should be better spent. Our resources should be better spent. And our people should have been much better off 29 years after democracy. Hiervan kan julle verseker wees. Die DA sal nooit ophou veg vir ons mense en ons dorpe nie. The DA will continue to fight to rescue our small towns to ensure that local economies are protected. I thank you. Ek dank u.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kaule. Honorable Becker, Freedom Front Plus. Your 3 minutes starts now, Honorable Becker.
Acting Chair, apologies for catching me off guard. Greetings to you, and once again, thank you for the opportunity and all protocols observed. Acting Speaker, I don't always want to give stick, but I know I will be criticized for this. Here follows a question that I've asked the MEC for Gokta in April this year, and I'm going to quote word for word. Taking cognizance of the fact that the National Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs is responsible for the bulk supply of water in municipalities. 3 questions. 1, whether he can supply the House with a full report as to the current status of the construction of the new Koornie Dam in the Sunrise River Valley. Whether he can supply the House with the details pertaining to the rehabilitation of the Darlington Dam and elaborate on the current maximum storage capacity. Whether he can kindly supply the House with an update on the plans to make the Kouga Dam wall higher and elaborate on the current maximum storage capacity and details the required construction and then the maximum storage capacity after construction is completed. Acting Speaker, the MEC's response was, and I quote again, the information is not readily available within the department and has to be sourced from the municipality. A response will be provided on receipt of the information thereof. Now, Acting Speaker, my problem with this is, as I have stated in my opening remark to the MEC, the bulk supply of water is a function of national government. Thus, it's also a function of provincial government. And it seems as if the MEC does not know his responsibility or his mandate. Is the supply of potable water really so low on his list of priorities? As I mentioned on Tuesday, the constant supply of potable water is one of the key factors that directly influence investors. I thank you, Acting Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Becker. African National Congress, Honorable Kaya. Your 18 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. Let me see. MEC, members of the Eastern Cape Legislature, political leaders, guests and officials present. Ndiyabulisa ngegama elihle le-African National Congress. From the onset, let me state that despite challenges confronting municipalities in this district, I am confident with ANC remaining in power. Sarapatman district is a course to create a vibrant and productive district based on its participative people-centered developmental approach. This district is steeped in agricultural wealth and opportunity, well renowned for its diverse and rich tourism industry, and leading light in alternative and renewable energy creation. This district is determined to deliver efficient public services, educational opportunities, and health support, grounded in the commitment to ensure a truly democratic dispensation for all our people. Chair of Chairs, closing the recent National Executive Committee, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that national and the provincial government have been requested to intervene in a number of distressed municipalities to support and capacitate municipalities to perform their functions. At present, in the province, work is underway to make such interventions a reality, and this work requires technical intervention and financial resources, noting the financial constraints. In this regard, in spite of these challenges, in spite of these challenges in our municipalities, the ANC-led government has introduced a risk adjustment strategy, philosophy of planning, budgeting, and expenditure and reporting in municipalities to help municipalities to spend monies fully, not to return money back to national treasury. Progress in this respect is taking well off. Listening to opposition in blue, and unfortunately the red berets are not here as usual, I am reminded by the words of Shakespeare when he said, I quote, "It was a tale told by an idiot, full of sound, fury, but signifying nothing," close quote. We have proven Kepa KZN, we ward that was governed by EDA, ANC Tate Konke with 6,000 and more votes against 2,000 and something votes. So ANC indeed abantu bayayifuna ekuhlaleni. We do not pretend that all is well, and we admit that there are challenges, and the report of the Portfolio Committee recognizes this fact. We recognize that growth in this district is inhibited by the aging infrastructure in local municipalities, and ANC government is at work and attending to this matter. The many projects that the ANC intervene ngayo ngakuzo kulo masipala wase Glad District. Umzekelo, uSandral ne-Department of Roads and Transport, they've committed 80 million and 88 million for tar road maintenance in this district. Water and sanitation projects in Kokama and Woodlands is budgeted an amount of 210 million. ESCOM to invest 150 million on electrification in Blue Crane. Khini and Makanda sewer treatment works has invested an amount of 80 million and 15 million for Alisdale sewer treatment. Zininzi kenza skipper kulo rhulumente ke ukhathalayo. The committee has noted the escalation of municipal debt by ESCOM local municipalities in this district. We are confident that the department will assist these municipalities with application for write-offs for a portion of these debts to National Treasury. We are working with the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to ensure that there is a permanent solution, and when we finish, these municipalities will never be the same. We congratulate those municipalities that have shown progress in their audit outcomes. We are happy that the MPEC have been established and fully trained. We call upon the department to continue capacitating the municipalities so that they will detect factors that will hamper good audit outcomes. Madam Speaker, As we crisscrossed this district, it was clear that our commitments towards renewing a capable developmental state has yielded improvements. As I conclude, Chair of Chairs, while the doomsayers have started to write off the ANC as it relates to 2024 national general elections, however, by-elections after by-election confirm that people of the province, in fact, people of this country, have confidence in African National Congress. And without any shadow of doubt, we are certain that come 2024, people of the province will once more affirm the ANC as their party of choice. To validate this point, there is no opposition party in the province which has capacity to fill stadiums in all 8 regions. I thank you, and the African National Congress support the report. Cause.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kaya. Acting Cocta MSc, Honorable Peters, your 15 minutes starts now.
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Deputy Speaker, the acting Premier and members of this august House, Chairperson and Portfolio Committee members, the Executive Mayor of Sarah Parman District Municipality, Councillor Dion Tifos, and all mayors, speakers, and councillors from other municipalities, Provincial Commissioner that is here, HODs and DDGs that are here, and the community members in the social media, public platforms, and public viewing venues, and the community members that are part of this August House. Kindly receive our revolutionary greetings as we attempt to conclude the debate on the Portfolio Committee oversight visit to all the municipalities in Sarah Parman District. This legislature sitting takes place during the month dedicated to one of the outstanding sons this country has ever produced, Oliver Reginald Tambo, the 8th president of the ANC, who was born on the 27th of October 1917 in Kantolo, Mbizana in the Eastern Cape, the home of such legends. Oliver Tambo was an outstanding and an extraordinary diplomat who led the ANC International Mission for 30 years during the liberation struggle. He came back from exile, a war-weary, sickly, but with conviction that it was not for personal glory, but a selfless struggle to liberate our people from the demon of racism and apartheid. We are deeply indebted to O.R. Tambo. Some of our strategic opponents participated in the creation of these barbaric challenges, but because they lack consciousness, they are very bold in using what they created against the black majority to delegitimize the democratic government whose aims are to resolve these systemic and demonic policies. This is the same attitude expressed by the Israel government against the people of Palestine, who falsely believe that the only human beings in that racial war are the people of Israel. I would like to indicate that the sitting of the legislature this week is punctuated by a multiplicity of events globally, nationally, and locally. Topical is the Middle East war between Israel and Palestine, the Russia versus Ukraine conflict, and the uncertain international economic landscape that affects developing countries like South Africa. These developments have a direct impact in our country because of our country's dependency on global markets, because the exports and imports make it vulnerable to economic shocks and the fluctuations in commodity prices. South Africa has historically been supportive of Palestine cause and critical of Israel policies towards the Palestinians. The South African government has over the years called for the two-state solution whereby Israel and Palestine live side by side in peace. We are against the bombing of innocent civilians by Israel in Gaza. The suffering of women and children must stop. Israel must vacate the occupied territories of Palestine. We stand for peace and a negotiated settlement and not hypocrisy. Wars lead to economic decline, wars lead to job losses, unemployment, poverty, and inequality, and the knock-on effects is suffering and hardships of the people. This legislature sitting takes place a week after the MEC have visited Graaff-Reinet to launch, or Dr. Beyers Naudé municipality, Graaff-Reinet is a town anyway that we're going to change, to launch a 12 million Cokeville groundwater project, an initiative by Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa in collaboration with the Department of Water and Sanitation and COGTA. We can't be called after a man, a wife, and a husband. Anyway, Banintlun, Honorable. The project was planned to supply the entire town of Graaff-Reinet with clean potable drinking water, having experienced drought for about 8 years in this district. The project is powered by solar energy and is completely independent of Eskom's energy supply and will not be affected by load shedding. A total of 3,882 households of Ashaville, Kroonvale, and Adendorp are benefiting from the project. A maximum of 4 boreholes extract water from the ground and reticulate it and process it to the consumption of communities. The project has been launched and completed within 7 months, and the communities of this area got their smiles back and were removed from day 0 because the Nweba Dam was almost dry. This is one of the projects that has been delivered through the district development model, where the private sector, government, and communities worked together and collaborated to realize this mega project, which has changed the lives of people of Graaff-Reinet. We're engaging Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa to work with us to scale up interventions like this to other areas in Saraparman district and even cover the whole province, replicating this good business case. This session takes place 3 weeks after MEC's outreach campaign to Kocha municipality to assess the state of service delivery in Jeffreys Bay, Humansdorp and Patensi, and the farming areas. His observations are that the municipality has poor service delivery, the towns and township are riddled with potholes, sewer spillages, and the stench of block sewer is all over the black townships. Service delivery has got a racial character in Kocha. White suburbs receive service delivery and black townships are neglected. During the outreach campaign, the leadership of the municipality snubbed the MEC. The DA Troika was virtually absent for the entire duration of the outreach program. They walked away from the MEC. The taking legislature, provincial legislature to the people is a concrete expression of public participation, which is a fundamental cornerstone of participatory democracy. It is a crucial component of a democratic system, but what has struck us during the session has been the conspicuous absence of the opposition parties during the sessions. This is a continuation of what happened in Kocha municipality. Honorable Chair of Chairs, allow me to hasten to highlight some of the findings of the Portfolio Committee for COGTA following their oversight visit to 3 municipalities in the district. In respect of Blue Crane, the municipality does not have standard operating procedure in water and sanitation services. The Department of Water and Sanitation has commissioned a professional service provider to review the district master plan. This is envisaged to be completed before the end of this financial year. All standard operating procedures will be developed with immediate effect. The assets of the municipality amount to 53 million and the liabilities amount to 83 million. This illustrates a deficit of 30 million. COGTA will help the municipality with the revenue enhancement strategy, and COGTA will be working with provincial treasury. Coming to Dr. Beyers Naudé municipality's problem is that it was not properly graded after the amalgamation of the municipalities. It adopted an unfunded budget. Going forward, the provincial treasury and COGTA will take up the matter. The landfill sites are not certificated and not compliant with the legislation. These issues are fundamentally governance problems and will be attended to. Sundays River Valley local municipality problems are entirely, the municipality has received disclaimers from the Auditor General, record keeping is deficient in the municipality. Municipal standing committees do not sit on set date. The PMTS has not been cascaded to junior staff members. The state of governance is with COCTA and Provincial Treasury will intervene, and a full response on these matters has been prepared and will be tabled in the legislature. The department has rolled out the risk-adjusted strategy, which is a risk mitigation plan our department is introducing in municipalities, which emphasizes early project planning, early registration of projects, and full spending of the allocated grant funds by each municipality to deliver services to the municipalities. The purpose is for municipalities not to return the funds back to the National Treasury while our towns are sprawling with potholes, garbage, and service delivery backlogs. COCTA officials have been deployed across all the districts to train municipalities on the implementation of the risk-adjusted strategy. Some municipalities are on track and others grappling with the strategy, but we are hopeful that it will bear fruits in due course and will hold mayors and municipal managers accountable for its implementation. We'll continue with our outreach programs to all the municipalities and will enforce the implementation of the risk-adjusted strategy to increase the speed of implementation of infrastructure projects. Some may believe we are hard on officials as we do our work of oversighting the implementation of the strategy, and we are committed to be more assertive and relentless until government officials at municipal level perform as we expect them to perform, and will remain steadfast and unapologetic, and we will continue to ask hard questions. Coming to the issues that were raised here, Chair, Honorable Becker talked about the water but let me remind him that municipalities are water service authorities and providers, not COCTA. And they are getting grant from WISIG, and that grant they receive from the Department of Water and Sanitation, and COCTA is playing an oversight role over municipalities. Coming to the question, to what was said here by the Honorable from the DA, it's so surprising that they can talk about the weaknesses that are there in municipalities as if they've performed a good job when they were in power before 1994. We must remember that there were no flushing toilets. We used bucket system. People started to have flushing toilets after 1994. We did not have electricity. We were using candles, and people have electricity after 1994. My mother, who voted for the first time in 1994, she was 56 years old then, and she was voting for the first time. And for the whole 56 years, she was using a bucket. There was no electricity. And then they come here and grandstand as if this government have done nothing for the people of this country. We have changed the lives of the people of this country. Fortunately, I'm from Sarah Parkman. I know in Somerset East, we had bucket systems. We did not have flushing toilets. And thanks to the ANC government for changing the lives of the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MSc. Honorable members, I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Any objection? Thank you very much. We will now debate the report of the Portfolio Committee on Community Safety. We will start with the Democratic Alliance, Honorable Porter. Your 12 minutes start while you are wearing your jacket. Thank you. Your 12 minutes starts now, Honorable.
Honorable Speaker, Acting Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's very hot in Graafrenet, and I'm doing this presentation on behalf of my colleague, Honorable von Buchenroeder, that is not here. Unfortunately, our party is busy with assessments of its public representatives. Unlike the ANC, we have performance agreements.
South Africa has a very negative local and international name as the capital of various priority crimes such as murder, rape, GBV, drugs, and etc. and etc. And quite frankly, let me tell you, with all this and negativity, ek kan ek sê in Afrikaans, ons is dik en ons is gatvol vir misdaad in die Sarah-Basman district. Ons is moeg vir dit, Speaker. The primary function of government is to create an enabling environment to create opportunities for people to thrive. The relentless grip of crime in the Eastern Cape is suffocating the hopes of the residents who are trapped in a constant state of fear at the real possibility of violence lurking.
Can you take your seat?
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Benjamin.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Botha, Chair, you must please ask for him to withdraw the unparliamentary words that he's used just now in Afrikaans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Botha. I think the matter has been raised for the past 2 days. That's really unfortunate and unparliamentary.
I withdraw that language is unparliamentary.
Thank you. Thank you. You can
But
continue.
I am dik of crime and so is a lot of people.
Thank you.
Honourable Speaker, it is further noted in this report that there is a shortage of vehicles at each of these stations. This has been cited as one of the key issues or challenges stations have in this area. And we can argue this point time and again, but we cannot argue the fact that these police vehicles have to use an onerous method of going in for services, where authorization must be received from the standard banks, and there's delays in the services for months on ends. We need to decentralize government garages and the repairs of state-owned vehicles to local qualifying garages. In a recent response in a parliamentary question from the DA in terms of SAP's vehicles, there were 511 vehicles in the Sarah-Baartman district. The province has 1,164 non-operational vehicles, and 252 of these vehicles are in the process of being boarded. In a further response, 1,164 vehicles are undergoing repairs at the average time rate for 60 days that they are being repaired. The oldest vehicle has been in the garage for 160 days. And this is the longest period that a vehicle has been in the garage. It is also revealed by our colleagues that 26.5% of visible policing and 19.6% of detectives' vehicles are broken and inoperable, leaving victims of crime stranded and vulnerable. And how is this possible that we take so long to service our vehicles? We want to appeal to the MEC as well as the Provincial Commissioner to start decentralizing these government garages and to ensure that the suppliers are really at a local level which are qualified to do this job. Speaker, in Graaff-Reinet area, there are vehicles available during the week, but we have been reliably informed that during weekends there's only 2 vehicles that's on air and on patrol available. This cannot be the case, as we need more functional vehicles available on weekends in the area, because crime does not ask when and where it's going to be committed. The relevant department also needs to step up and create a conducive work environment for the police officers and police women in the buildings that they work in, and also create a safe and comfortable environment for the public to come in and lay charges or seek assistance. I need to mention the state level area because there's a beautiful police station that has been built there, but you cannot detain a person at the station as the cells are not even operational due to being unfurnished. And the question now remains, how do you sign off on a new building station without checks and balances? I can speak about the Western Cape and the LEAP unit that we have there. I can speak about the successes of the Western Cape, where our police officers are wearing body cams and have cameras in their vehicles, and also automated number plate recognition technology. And I so wish that we can afford this to the South African police officers in the Eastern Cape and in the rest of South Africa. And I don't want to delve too much into this, as my colleague has developed a thesis on his speech regarding all the successes of the police in the Western Cape. But I want to come to this point, Madam Speaker. By citing the above, I would like to say that the people of this province, especially Graafrenet, we are sick and tired of not being serviced, not being heard, and not being given the promises that the government has made to safeguard and protect us from crime. But I want to also come back to the by-election remarks. I want to remind you that Wednesday, the DA won by 96% in Ekurhuleni, a by-election, showing that the voters are really starting to trust us. So you can stand here and grandstand about your by-elections. We are hot on your heels. I can also tell you one thing, that come 2024, this same community will punish the ANC at the ballot box. In the words of Reverend Desmond Tutu, watch out, ANC, watch out. Watch out, ANC, watch out. Your support has dropped below 45%, while the support of the DA has increased to over 30% of the vote. And this is done by the Social Research Foundation of South Africa. Watch out, ANC, watch out.
Watch out, DA.
The people shall govern by putting in place a new government with integrity that loves the people and that will serve them with respect and dignity. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Porter. Honorable Becker, Freedom Front Plus, your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Acting Chair. Once again, greetings to you and House and all protocols observed. At least with this speech, you will be rid of me for the next few weeks. Acting Speaker, the Premier stated during his State of the Province address that, and I quote again, the SAPS will implement a series of measures to prevent crime in our province. These include establishing multidisciplinary task teams led by provincial organized crime, deploying extra technical response team and public order police, deploying national intervention unit to Nelson Mandela Bay to stabilize crime in the area. Additional vehicles have been allocated to the police stations. This is a quote from SOPA. Acting Speaker, can we please get clarity on the status of these interventions? During a recent count of SAPS vehicles by an NPO in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, it was determined that more than 300 SAPS vehicles is out of service only in the Metro. Not operational, standing, cannot work. Through you, Speaker, may I ask the Honourable MEC to confirm the figures in the finding A on the Stakeholders Forum, page 379. And lastly, Speaker, through you, may I please ask the Honourable MEC to clarify finding A on the Kirkwood, that is page 383. I will also submit this as written questions. Thank you, but my time is not up yet. Honourable Peters, through you, Chair, please, I just need to remind Honourable Peters that GOCTA is responsible for the bulk supply of water. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Porter. African National Congress, Honorable Maklashala. Your 18 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs. I will try to be as brief as I can so that at least I have time to visit the Valley of Desolation. just to clarify a few issues, Chair of Chairs. Assessment of the public representatives as highlighted by Honorable Porter, that the ANC does not do it. I think it's something that we have put to rest now because we dealt with it way back. Whilst you are still obsessed with it, it's something that we dealt with it long ago. So we don't want people to come and grandstand on matters that they believe it is in only their prerogative and privilege to perform. We have done that one. And again, the issue of trying to pose questions on the podium. Honorable members know very well where to pose questions, not here. This is a place to debate. Farnemende spreker, eerbare lede van die gemeenskap, molweni nonke. It is of great significance that I address this gathering today. As on this day, the 26th of October 1964, the UN Special Committee on Policies of Apartheid appealed for assistance to families of apartheid victims in South Africa. Had it not been for many interventions such as this, one can only imagine the fate that we would have suffered under continued repressive rule. Coincidentally, post our own liberation as a country, we stand in solidarity with the victims affected by the apartheid-style occupation of their land, which is their birthright. We suffered under apartheid rule. We lived the daily trauma of forced evictions to make way for settlers. Ugraflo is one of those, no Renette. With regards to the systemic dispossession of Palestinians of their land and homes for the benefit of Jewish Israelis, we stand with the Palestinian nation, case closed. Esinye isisekelo sombutho ANC lukhululeko loluntu ekuhlaleni. Ezikolweni, lukhuseleko loluntu ekuhlaleni ezikolweni kwindawo abaxelenga kuzo. However, the challenges facing government's crime prevention prerogative, chief of these being the resourcing of police stations, continue to plague communities. Siyayazi ukuba kunqaba kwamapolisa ngenxa yezithuba ezingade zigcwaliswe. Ube umsebenzi wesipolisa ungaphaya kokuqonda. Kuye kugqwalise ulwaphulo mthetho oluliwa ngamapolisa ngaphansi kwezo meko zoxinezelelo. We have seen this in the numerous police stations that were visited, wherein the services offered by the SAPS are far outweighed by the steadily growing population in the respective communities that they serve. The growing population, coupled with the rise in criminal elements against the limited police force, compels some police stations to even lock their gates after dark for fear of attacks on police officers inside the police station precincts. Safe, how much more to the ordinary citizens? This has a negative impact on the police force to dutifully play their role of protecting and serving, as they themselves tend to fall victims to criminal elements. Shortages in South African police service officials can be closely linked with police vehicle shortages, which have a negative effect on police visibility. The department must ensure that all police vehicles are roadworthy and are in good working conditions, and that police visibility is increased, especially on weekends, wherein certain crimes tend to peak. For us to realize the ideals of a safe community, police officers and the justice system must be seen to be executing their duties in a transparent manner, so that ningakrokelwa commissioner ngabantu uba xa beyomangala ungahle bani collaborator ne thugs. Siyayazi ukuba ngamanye amaxesha izikrelemnqa ziye zibanjwe neziyobisi kodwa ziphinde zibonwe phakathi kwethu singabahlali kungentsuku zatywala. Now that's why we invite and stress the collaborative effort of the justice system. Oku kukhokelela ekubeni abemi bakholelwe ekubeni amapolisa asebenzisana nabathengisi beziyobisi kunye nezikrelemnqa apha ekuhlaleni, nto leyo iye yenze abantu boyike ukhalisa impempe bekhomba imizi ekuthiwe kwenziwa futhi kuthengiselwe kuyo iziyobisi ngenxa yokukrokela kuba amapolisa angawakhuseli amagama abo. Imizekelo ke eJeffreys Bay Ocean View kwakudushe pha ngo-2021 around issues yobisi. The Department of Community Safety must ensure this gathering of the protection of whistleblowers and must ensure that the procession of criminals nabbed with drugs is concluded up to the point where they are charged and jailed. Sifuna kubethwe inja ke kude kuvela umnikazi wayo. Now, in the same vein, the vandalism of street lights and high masts presents a further risk to those who have to walk home from school or work early in the morning and late at night. We were here at Flay Grond, and people were complaining of these, that they do not have high mast lights, and those that are there, our municipality, are not serviced. So they remain residing in that risky area. Our concern remains on old unused buildings which are most dilapidated. These structures serve as avenues for youngsters to be led to form part of unlawful activities such as drinking during school hours. These further serve as potential dens where young girls and women are at risk of being violated. Our municipalities should ensure that they register and have audits of all unused buildings, and wherein the owners are established for purposes of either refurbishment, for future use, or demolition. Then the prevalence of taverns seems to present a growing threat to community safety. It is at these establishments where underage drinking takes place, whilst other criminal elements such as illegal substance peddling and assaults find breeding ground. It is worse when fights which emanated from elsewhere spill over to these drinking holes, thus endangering the lives of other patrons. Now, we just need police, where we say there has to be installation of cameras so that we are able to capture all those bad behaviors. We cannot isolate this responsibility from the liquor board, whose duty is to ensure that all stakeholders are consulted before any liquor establishment is operated within the community. Of concern to us is the sheer number of establishments that are in very close proximity to schools and churches. And Bahlale, Gemenskap, we must stand together against these establishments. And we must ensure that our ward committees and other stakeholders represent our aspirations in these processes, because it is these unwelcome drinking holes that operate beyond the prescribed hours and cause a nuisance within our communities. Now, andifuni ndihlale phansi, Chair of Chairs, ndingathethanga ngesidungamu gender-based violence. One of the demotivating factors pertaining to reported cases has always been the turnaround time for DNA analysis for court cases. It is our view that the newly established DNA testing lab in Gqeberha will serve as a welcome measure to propel such cases forward. Despite the efforts made by the state in ensuring the processing of reported matters, the development of programs to protect women and children at municipal and ward level is of paramount importance. Singumbutho ANC simela ukuthi akekho umuntu onokuzinca ngobume bakhe ehleli ngokoyika emzini wakhe. Akekho umuntu onokuphumelela kwizifundo zakhe ehamba esoyika ukubanjwa zizange uhamba esoyika ukubanjwa zizange esiya esikolweni. Akekho umsebenzi onokuzinca ngokufaka isandla kuphuhliso loqoqosho esoyika ukuhlaselwa xa ephuma kwisithuthi sakhe nesikawonke-wonke. Akekho umama ochula ukunyathela esoyika ukulala kobandayo emva kokuthinjwa zizikrelemnqa okanye ukunukunezwa kwangumntu amaziyo apho ahlala khona. Simemelela urhulumente ukuba athathe ingqalelo kule micelimngeni siyiphawuleyo. We further call on meaningful partnerships to ensure a responsive approach towards decisively rooting out criminal elements in our communities. Amakhuba ke asentsimini suvulile sawulungisa umhlaba. Tyalani ke urhulumente ukuze ezi zithole sizibeke kule ntetho ziphuhle bavune ukuphumla abemi baseSarabatman naseMzantsi Afrika. ANC supports the adoption of this report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maqashela, Chief Whip. Acting Premier, your 15 minutes starts now. Responding to the debate.
Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. Greetings to you once again and all protocol observed. The only part you missed, Chief Whip, was to say the assessment was done online, unlike the fact that now they are queuing outside for assessment. Honorable Speaker, in entertaining the Portfolio Committee report, the Department of Community Safety has noted all the findings and commits to implement the recommendations. As reflected on recommendations and findings, the department must redouble its efforts to strengthen relations between communities and the South African police for purposes of crime prevention. Despite our financial challenges, we made a conscious decision to continue with community safety engagement as part of encouraging communities to collaborate with law enforcement agencies to eradicate crime in the province. These relations may assist our government as it is impossible to deploy a police officer in each and every household, as heinous crimes on several occasions take place in family bedrooms. The clarion call made to our people through a campaign called Musa Ukuthula Kusonakala will ever be relevant for enhancing partnerships between the department and various crimes. Crime prevention requires patience amongst the general populace for us to have successful convictions. The assertion once made by the President of the Democratic South Africa, Honorable Nelson Mandela, when he said, I quote, "The wheels of government are grinding slowly," close quote. The criminals are out there, too clever, and may easily escape convictions should we fail to follow proper police investigations. This patience has paid us good dividends, as many prisons and police stations have been filled beyond 100%. These criminals never went to prison voluntarily, but got incarcerated through law enforcement agents' resilience. Honorable members, the ANC government is working hard to fight crime in the province. You would recall the mass shootings that have been happening in our province, particularly in Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, OR Tambo District, and the Buffalo City. These criminals have been hell-bent on disturbing the peace of our people. However, I'm extremely delighted to inform this House that the hard work of the SAPS paid dividends as we managed to arrest some, if not all, of the criminals involved in these kinds of crime. We're encouraged by the arrest of the alleged perpetrators. We hope that the arrest of these suspects will lead to successful prosecution and conviction. The success of these cases have been achieved through dedicated men and women in blue uniforms and the involvement of our communities through collaboration with the police. The South African Police Service has now established a specialized task team to deal with extortions in the province. This team is working around the clock to crack the organized criminal network involved in heinous crimes, and we have seen some progress in some instances. The task team is working tirelessly to deliver the required results and deal decisively with the crime that is denting our image. I think it's important that I also talk about the hard work that we are doing to address the shortages at Gafreinet police station. The shortage at the state police station will be addressed when the allocation of the 2023-24 police trainee is made together with the other stations in the province. We have also noted the issue of the 4 vehicles that are still in the garage while others are not in good condition, and we agreed that this may affect the visibility and response of the police to community concerns and crime. In response to this, 22 artisan mechanics have been recruited for different garages. 12 have already reported on duty and 10 are undergoing screening. 1 additional mechanic has been recruited through transfer. Additional hand tools have been ordered and will be delivered on or before the 27th of October 2023. I think that will be tomorrow. As I conclude, honorable members, the committee informed us that in Somerset East Police Station, there is sometimes a breakdown in communication between the center and the station that results in the staff of the Victim Support Center being unaware of reported cases of victims of violence. Communication has since been enhanced and victims are referred regularly. The station commander is also visiting the center. As part of addressing the shortage of vehicles at the station, on the 9th of October 2023, 1 Isuzu double cab 4x4 was allocated for visible policing for the station. Lastly, honorable members, I want to assure this House and the honorable members of the committee that we are working tirelessly to address all issues identified by the committee, and would like to take this opportunity to thank the committee for providing unwavering support to the department. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Deputy Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. I put the report of the Portfolio Committee on Community Safety. Any objection? No. Thank you very much. Honorable members, all the reports for the day have been dealt with and duly adopted. That concludes the discussions and the business for today. On behalf of the Executive Committee of the Legislature, I wish to extend a word of appreciation to the members of the public for their participation across all 3 local municipalities, Makana, Beesnotie, and Sundays River. We wish to express our utmost gratitude to the Troika of Sarah Batman District and that of 7 locals, all councillors and traditional and Khoisan leadership of the area. Without you being gracious host, we could not have done this. A special gratitude to the Executive Mayor of Sarah Batman, Councillor Dion DeFos. May you just raise and thank you very much, Councillor. As well as the Mayor of Beesnotie, local municipality, Councillor Willem Seifers. I have not said stand up yet. You can stand up now, okay? And the Modelande clap hard. Kakulu, Kwabani Kakulu. Thank you very much.
Mr. Seifers.
Councillor Safers, for setting aside your busy schedule and forming part of the proceedings since Monday. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you to the people of Sarah Batman District for their meaningful participation. A special word of gratitude to the team of officials from the district and local municipalities for the cooperation and assistance since our arrival here at Botanic Sports Ground in Graafrenet in September when we're doing the communication. You are the embodiment of the public servant. Equally so, all officials from government department who worked with our team to put up a special and a successful program. You have not gone unnoticed. Thank you for being there, for answering or guiding our team in the right direction. We really appreciate. Provincial Commissioner, if you may stand up again. Colonel Mkhwebi, thank you. Provincial Commissioner and Colonel Mkhwebi and your team, thank you. Thank you, Provincial Commissioner. As well as for that beautiful entertainment, Mama Mkhwebi, display on the ground and the guard of honor by your trainees to welcome our members and guests. I must say it's the first time we get that kind. Can you, honorable members, just give them another round of applause again? We felt so important. Thank you to our host, Mr. Willy van Rensbeck, Meneer. Can we just stand up? Thank you. Who kindly opened all the doors for us at the Botanic Sport Ground. And from day one, honorable members, he said yes. Yeah. Our staff of the legislature, your tireless and relentless work has once again paid off. You are the best. Keep going, Secretary and your team. Secretary to the legislature this time. Honorable members, thank you for your attendance to the plenary for the past 3 days. Now, back to business. Honorable members, we are reminding you that tomorrow is the 27th of October 2023. You are to participate in the handing over of the various legacy projects around the Sarah Batman district. The program and allocation of members has been shared through offices of leaders and of political parties, and I see it has also been shared in our WhatsApp group. Our communication team has done that. The House will now adjourn until the 1st of November 2023, 2:15 for questions to the Premier and the official launch of the TB caucus. The House is adjourned. Thank you.